films, proving that she could hold her own against top-level actors. The film brought in over $500 million worldwide, making it by far the biggest movie of her career. So far, at least. In 2016, Larson was cast as Carol Danvers for the upcoming MCU movie Captain Marvel, and on the surface, this all seemed like great news. The MCU was at the height of its popularity, and a starring role in one of their films wasn't just a guaranteed payday for the next 10 years, it was a ticket to the big leagues. Brie Larson was on her way to being the next big A-list star, and everyone knew it. What they didn't know was that the seeds of her career destruction had just been sown. See, Captain Marvel was billed as the first female-led Marvel movie, the start of a new era of diversity and representation for the franchise, so interest was running higher than usual, and it wasn't all positive. Critics were quick to point out that the MCU already had the ideal candidate for a female-led movie in Black Widow, a more popular character played by a bigger actress. Forcing Captain Marvel into the mix so late in the game seemed like a weird move by a studio that was normally pretty good at this sort of thing. When the first trailer launched in 2018, it was absolutely lambasted, not just for making the character seem overpowered and not particularly likeable, but also for Brie Larson's performance. There's just no way of putting this gently. She looked fucking miserable, like some giant sponge soaking all the fun out of the movie. Also, by this point, people weren't exactly thrilled with the idea of another unstoppable girl boss being crowbarred into another franchise that had done perfectly well up until now. Add all this together and you had a PR shitstorm the likes of which the MCU had never experienced before. And right at the center of it all was Brie Larson herself. Suddenly people were taking notice of her and what she had to say. And well, it turns out she had a lot to say for herself. Not only did she seem to have a real problem with men, and white men in particular,
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
What didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time? It wasn't made for him.
there's that paternal childhood resentment coming back to haunt her, but she also came across as prickly and unlikable, especially when she had to do interviews with other Marvel actors.
I do all my stunts.
I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did.
Tom Cruise.
No, I'll be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Now, I can't say for sure what was going on here. Maybe they were all just having a bad day and tempers were fraying, but it didn't seem to matter. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and Larson's one wasn't good. She came across just as arrogant, combative, and humorless as the character she was playing, a prickly and entitled actress who seemed to think she was better than everyone else. And for her critics, well, it was just extra ammunition. Just like Ghostbusters, Captain Marvel and its star became lightning rods of controversy and online culture wars in a way that no other MCU project ever has. But there wasn't much they could do except soldier on and hope for the best. And in public, at least, it all seemed to go well. The movie raked in over $1 billion, got the usual round of glowing reviews from the mainstream media, and the MCU bandwagon rolled on. But behind the scenes, it was a very different story. The fan backlash had rattled Marvel hard. Nothing like this had ever happened to them before. Yeah, the movie made a ton of money, but it was a Pyrrhic victory at best. Half the audience hated not just the main character, but the actress playing her as well. Action had to be taken, so Captain Marvel's role in Endgame was slashed down to a glorified cameo. Plans to make her the new face of the franchise were quickly shelved, and the character was put on ice while they waited for the confidence to die down. And it wasn't just Disney backing away from her either. Hollywood casting directors hate, it's controversial and divisive stars who can torpedo projects just by association. Suddenly all those film offers seemed to dry up, and Larson found herself stranded in the acting wilderness. She had to do something to reinvent her public persona, and with most people stuck at home by the unspecified virus of unknown origin, she decided to take the bull by the horns and launch her own YouTube channel focused on, well, herself.
The bold strategy, Todd.
Now don't get me wrong, there's definitely actors out there with the charisma and the personality to sell something like that. Unfortunately, Brie Larson wasn't one of them. Attempts at quirky, down-to-earth relatability came across as staged, forced and cringy. She looked awkward and uncomfortable without a script to work from, and she struggled to engage with the guests who were clearly paid to be there. It was performative normality, like rich politicians trying to appeal to regular people by drinking beer that they've never tasted, or eating junk food they don't know how to handle. The harder she tried back down to work and spontaneous, the more stiff and out of touch she seems. It was kind of ironic, really. After winning so
I'm ready to put on a show!
her most challenging role turned out to be herself. Interest in the channel waned and views flatlined, and within a year, she pulled the plug to focus on saving what was left of her acting career. That's right, it was time to revisit Captain Marvel.
How long will you play Captain Marvel?
I don't know. I don't know if
want me to do it again?
Some out of.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
The Marvels, as it was eventually known, would turn out to be Larson's make or break movie. If she could repeat the success of the first film, it might just get her out back from jail and back on track to the Hollywood A-list. On the other hand, if it flopped, it was proof that the first movie was nothing but a fluke coasting on the MCU's momentum. The future of the character, Larson's future in Hollywood, it all depended on the Marvels being a hit. Yeah, so that didn't happen. The Marvels turned out to be the most humiliating disaster in MCU history, pulling in barely $200 million worldwide, getting scathing reviews and crushing audience scores. The question of whether Captain Marvel, and with it Brie Larson's career, could be salvaged had been answered once and for all. This wasn't just a setback, it was full-on career implosion. So where is she now? Well, with her movie career basically stalled out, she retreated to theatre work and was last spotted acting in the stage play Electra in London's West End, which the Evening Standard described as an impenetrable slog, and that Larson brought layers of bitterness, resentment and desperation to the lines. Damn man, I can't imagine why. Brie Larson had officially crashed and burned. The role that was supposed to make her career ended up breaking it. In just a few short years, she went from Hollywood's next golden girl to a cautionary tale for PR managers everywhere. No matter what, you need to learn how to shut the fuck up. And hey, on the plus side, it seems like Larson finally learned that lesson herself when reporters tried to bait her into commenting on the Johnny Depp situation.
You guys can do that? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't understand the correlation or why it needs to be.
Yeah, it all came a few years too late, and you can tell she absolutely wanted to answer that question. But hey, it's still progress, I guess. So are we ever going to see Brie Larson on the big screen again? And if so, can she possibly claw her way back to the top of the Hollywood fame mountain? Well, probably not, if I'm honest. She's been in the wilderness for too long now. She's too old to make a comeback, and a new generation of actresses have come up to replace her. The world has moved on from Brie Larson, and there she stands, a sad example of what might have been, a monument to the hubris of fame and the fragility of celebrity. But hey, at least she made a great episode of Crash and Burn. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Have a tailwind.
Ready to do some damage. I am ready to put on a show. I like the cold.
Fantastic! I'm gonna be honest. I would be shocked if she gets cast in almost anything. Nobody would want to cast her, and here's the real reason why I think nobody's gonna want to cast Rachel Zegler. It actually has nothing to do with any of her comments besides that, and it has to do with her making the Free Palestine post on her promotion for the film. That is the reason why I think that no other studio will ever work with her again. And it's not because of, oh, it's Jews. No, it's not about that at all. It's because she's taking a political issue and she is putting it on the media that she's putting out there. Yeah, exactly. Oh, politics why? Exactly, right? Yeah, people are immediately out of that. So special. PR nightmare. It's just alienating.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Career's biggest movie, but was so brutally criticized that instead became the one that destroyed her life.
Tremble before fast!
They've almost got it. Control C's.
Welcome to my fucking life. Then don't. Like, damn.
Or perhaps it was all part of the plan, because decades ago, Walt Disney himself said Snow White should never be remade, but they went ahead.
Some things aren't meant to be remade, they're meant to be remastered. So somehow he predicted this was going to happen, or they're meant to be remembered. How the fuck did he know that? Damn.
But they went ahead anyway, and by the time the trailer dropped, people hated it already. If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk off. Was it that hard to find someone who actually looks like Snow White?
Yeah.
This comment made a good point. I just find it funny that her name is Snow White, and she's not white. It just defeats the purpose. Petitions to cancel the remake started immediately.
Yeah, people went absolutely crazy on
over
this.
2.3 million dislikes.
Imagine having that much of a dedicated hater base. That's insane.
multi-million discounts, leaving people to wonder why Disney wasn't canceling the movie or making some changes. Well, they did make changes. For starters, they swapped out real voice actors for CGI, which looked hideous. Instead of the beloved original characters, we got creepy, soulless abominations that looked like they crawled out of a failed video game. And strangely, in the
Yeah, because doing the opposite was considered like some form of ableism. That's the reason why. It was so stupid.
action remake, even the trees were CGI, which was an atrocious waste of money as well. To make matters worse,
So they couldn't find any trees, guys. You gotta understand. I mean, filming is hard.
removed these iconic shots from the original, one of which being "Someday My Prince Will Come," because
What a
apparently
surprise.
Snow White dreaming of love makes her too dependent, which only makes sense considering there's no prince either, just a bandit named Jonathan.
So
Because
there's no Prince Charming and just a bandit. Wow, this really is for women nowadays, isn't it? Jesus. That's bad.
the writers intentionally didn't want a prince saving Snow White.
By making him a thief and a lowlife, rather than an authoritative figure of any kind. It's as if the idea of a balanced relationship is offensive to them.
Of course it is, because a lot of these women, you know what they have? Personal unresolved trauma.
Welcome back to a series so unemployed,
Pick
even
your
Reddit
hero.
subscribed. In today's
I'm not
video,
judging.
the judge has officially approved Ethan Klein's subpoena of Reddit and Discord. The anonymous snarkers or Hassan fans are absolutely cooked. Ethan has responded on his podcast. Hassan Orbiter Frogget is in massive, and I mean massive, trouble. Hassan's terrorist friend is going after Ethan again. Local Hassan Orbiter and rank #1 simp Mike from PA is getting freaking destroyed. Even more clips are surfacing after his ban, and it's not looking good. Hassan continues his chain of unhinged meltdowns going after Destiny and
30 seconds
Asmongold.
before you attack.
Subscribe to
Get
literally
ready.
solve all of your problems. Pegasus guarantee. Back to you, Jellywig. Now let's begin with this tweet. According to Ethan Klein, the judge in his lawsuit approved a subpoena of Reddit and Discord. And then we got Ethan looking particularly smug here. Grok, what does that mean? It means the court has authorized Ethan Klein to legally
Battle
require
starts
Reddit
in
and
5,
Discord to hand over
4,
specific data
3,
such as user
2,
identities or records from
1.
communities like Ace3
All you
Discord
need to
is
do is
copyright
capture the
lawsuit
mission
against
area.
reaction
Got it?
streamers. This could reveal anonymous critics. This is diabolical. Things are about to get very interesting. The snarkers are no longer anonymous. They will be named and shamed and potentially added to the lawsuits. Literally Redditors' worst nightmare. This is why they're so terrified of being doxxed. And at the same time, they will have no problem participating in this type of behavior against other people. And I feel like you can't complain after you spent your entire existence trying to harass this person unjustly and making up lies about them. Snark Reddit mods are in full panic mode now. Dan is trying to look for more people to throw under the bus. So Ethan talked about it on his podcast. He first goes over the judge order approving the subpoena. I offered clemency. There's no more clemency.
Subpoena granted. Now, moderators, haters, snarkers are all in shambles right now because the order has come down straight from the judge, fresh from today. The subpoena was granted by the judge against Reddit or for Reddit and Discord, which means Reddit and Discord are being court-ordered to turn over all relevant information pertaining to the named moderators, the named users that we identified. That includes IP addresses, that includes email, that includes private messages, that includes, by the way, if they bought Reddit Gold or anything like that, payment info, method, address, whatever they have, we get. Again, I offered clemency. There's no more clemency. The presidential pardon, which I'm offering right now, is become
I
closed.
am ready to
Dude,
put on a show.
imagine getting screwed over because you put Reddit Gold. Set 'em up. Absolute set 'em up, bro. Those messages are going to be so juicy, and I just know they are absolutely going to get leaked, okay? That's just how these things work. And can you imagine the private messages between people who spend all day on Reddit and Discord snarking and trying to defend people led to this CPS call as well? I feel like it's going to absolutely expose some damning information. And the worst part is, it's not just going to expose them, but it might also cook Froggen, Casey, and Denims. Bad day for Reddit and Discord mods in their mom's basement. Funniest thing is, even if they delete everything now, all that info is on servers, and Reddit, the company, isn't going to cover up crimes. I'll post it again, get cooked.
Some of you guys out there sweating.
Bad day for Reddit, good day for mankind. I feel like they should have just taken the peace treaty that Ethan was offering. You know, he was urging them to just settle, just, you know, get their lawyers up, you know, give away some of the information they have, but they just refused to negotiate. They doubled down, and they really thought they would be safe. All these, or even those like random Twitter users as well, the Gato person, the unemployed Hassan mod, and now it looks like it's just too late at this point. So then he talks about how completely screwed they are, and the fact that he's probably adding them to the lawsuit.
By the way, the best detail about this all should not be missed on people is that Denims and Casey Tron, they have the same lawyer. He agreed to this motion without dispute. This was a joint, which means that they're not doing a lot to protect the moderators there. And frankly, why should they? I mean, they got big enough problems. You guys better pray that I don't find out a single one, because listen, as Denims is, as Froggen is, as Casey Tron is, you're going to be 3 times that. And guess what? You have no support. You have no one sending you money or helping you. You're just, and I already know you're an unemployed loser with no prospects. This is what happens when you fuck around. See what happens? Y'all thought, oh, Ethan's not gonna get our info. Oh, look at Ethan, he's not this and that. Oh, Reddit's not gonna give it. Oh, they're not gonna give us up. You're done. You're cooked. I'm coming. All I need is your IP address.
And so ultimately, they will have a charge of copyright infringement filed against them.
That's correct.
That's the idea.
Yep.
Oh my god, another lawsuit, or maybe it goes into the same lawsuit, not too sure about that, but this has got to be my Dan Clancy moment. I am going to nut. Okay, I'm kidding, of course, but as a wise man once said, you get what you fucking deserve. And special congratulations to Denims and Casey. Your lawyer has done a stellar job, you know, completely them over without giving them a second to rest, I guess. I don't know why they wouldn't object to this. I imagine they weren't completely honest with the lawyers as to what exactly they were messaging, so the lawyers might have thought that, oh, these messages are not going to implicate Denims or Casey Tron at all, but I really find it hard to believe they had no lines of communication with their Redditors. Or another possibility is that Denims and Casey think they're safe because they deleted their potential messages and they think it's just sort of wiped from the internet, but obviously that's not how it works. These platforms save these things. Anything you've ever messaged on any social media platform is saved by the platforms themselves. It may not be public on the internet in case nobody archived it, but it is absolutely stored in the servers for, like, you know, Discord or Reddit or something. Right, so then he goes over the official court order.
Because some of your cohorts leaked your Discord messages to us, we have some of your Discord IDs, and guess who's, we're gonna, those, if anyone's gonna have your real identity, it's gonna be right there. We're gonna have all your messages. Discord. And listen, don't try to erase them. If you erase them now, it's not gonna look good. And you should know that I'll still get them even if you erase them. Let's see, order grants joint stipulation re-granting plaintiff leave to serve third-party subpoenas prior to the Rule 26 conference. The stipulation is granted. Yes! Yikes, yikes. It is so ordered. Dated July 31st by the great, honorable Wesley L.
Bro, not gonna lie, it is so ordered in bold, it's like, that's like horrifying right there. I mean, there's the fact that you can totally fake that document that is 100% real. W judge for approving it, and the walls are closing in for the Reddit mod. It's time to get a job. I said it. I said the J slur, guys. favorite Hassan orbiter, Froggen. Right, so we talked about how she has been dodging Ethan's server like Neo from the Matrix. Apparently this guy tried to serve her 4 different times on different days, different times of the day, but could not find her, right? She apparently had her potential friend or relative lie for her at the door, you know, saying that they've been in this apartment 6 years, they've never seen Froggen in their life. It seems highly likely that Ethan's server got the correct address because it is literally their job to find these people, and apparently that person might have been lying about it. And, like, you know, I don't know who Froggen is. What the hell is a Froggen? Is that a frozen yogurt flavor or some shit? Never heard of it. So yeah, apparently she's just rank #1 hide-and-seek player globally. Somehow the literal orbiting body cannot be found, right? Well, it looks like she has 5 days left before she's fucking cooked. Ethan drops a Froggen lawsuit update. Froggen is literally about to default next week. What is she doing with the $50,000 she raised? He's talking about her GoFundMe. We have not heard from her or her attorney at all. She has like 5 days to respond to her complaint, or she loses by default. Ethan, I know you don't want to hear this. This is probably your worst nightmare right now. But there's a phenomenon in nature called hibernation. Some people can actually stack up food for like months, several months, right? And then they just sort of sleep through the winter, and there's no chance you're ever gonna find them because they're probably like in a cave, underground, some shit like that, buried themselves in the earth, right? And, you know, she might have just got a, you know, lifetime supply of McDonald's, ate it up, and just, you know, she's rested now. People responded, if the judge sees this, he's gonna lose by default. Not supposed to talk about a pending case you are involved in. Thank you. Thank you. You are the lawyer expert here. None of that is true, you absolute regard. You're confusing criminal and civil cases, you imbecile. We got right-wing Cope saying, Ethan needs to stay off social media during a lawsuit. In my opinion, he'll probably win regardless, just based on the core claims being accurate in terms of copyright violation. Wow, actually being intellectually honest. Although, why would you let your defendant know they're about to miss a response date? Probably because he's just trying to be nice, or I don't know. He talks about all of this stuff on social media. We got the unemployed Hassan fan back at it again. This is another person who's probably getting sued. The process server Ethan hired serves some random black lady lol. Yeah, you might think they're random, but it's almost very likely that they're related to Froggen in some way, unless the Ethan server was completely, utterly incompetent, but that's highly unlikely. She had 5 days if she loses by default, not being Ethan or Froggen, of course, and this is an automatic victory. They'll need to file a motion to default, and the truth is it can be set aside depending on the judge decision, which is common. I don't see that happening. Is taking all the proper steps. Is Kirsch intentionally avoiding having anything to do with this? At best, her lawyers will be contacted and given a set period to respond before defaulting is decided on. She ate 50K in DoorDash. We need to see the finances, guys. I would venture that is a possibility, all right? It's good when terrible things happen to bad people. This isn't even terrible thing. This is literally part of the legal process. It's just the law. It's just karma. It's just accountability for your actions. Moving on to Hassan's favorite terrorist, IRL Luffy, if you remember. Ethan responds to Timothy Chalamet calling him out for some weird shit. Right, so here we got the Houthi terrorist on Twitter. Ethan Klein sends me prawn girls to try to seduce me and then uses it against me with threats. And I'm telling you not to try and do nothing. You're playing with fire. And then Ethan just responds with laughing emojis saying what? Now, I don't know what this guy is on about. Apparently, bro might have accidentally clicked one of those prawn ads, and now he's trying to blame it on Ethan Klein. He's also spending quite a bit of time on Twitter, you know, when he's not bombing ships or posing in front of like actual hijacked ships, right? Maybe he accidentally swiped his credit card for some OF girls, and now he's trying to pin it on Ethan Klein. Bro, it's not his fault. You're horny, all right? People responded, Father, I swear I didn't download this prawn. The Jews did it. Somebody got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Bro got exposed for gooning and tried playing it off with playing Ethan. Dude, what timeline are we in? This guy the other day was tweeting how he wanted to end Ethan Klein's life forever, like straight up death threats on Twitter. Now, do you think that the parody account sent him something and he thought it was really him, or just him gooning and lying. I actually would not be surprised. There's like a bunch of Ethan parody accounts going around, and this guy legitimately might have thought it's real. Ethan does the same to me. He gets me all hooked up with the ladies, then sends guys and calls me gay. Next week, he's gonna blame the Mossad on what his mother finds in his wastebasket. Right, so basically, you're telling me this guy's full-time profession is 10 a.m. go and bomb some ships, 12 p.m. tweet on Twitter, and then 2 p.m. go to some e-hose or something, and then get caught and blame it on Ethan, dude. Holy shit. Anyways, moving on to Mike from PA, the absolute Omega Simp loser. Now, if you remember last time, we were talking about how he got banned on Twitch for saying Jews are a demonic ethnicity.
Executioner!
Anti-Semitic bullshit.
Jewish is not an ethnicity. This constructed ethnicity. This demonic ethnicity. Wholly invented.
So basically he got banned for an indefinite amount of time, and nobody really knows the length, but Mike has come out on his Discord, and apparently somebody's saying that he got a 2-day ban. Ethan alleges Mike from PA got a 2-day ban on Twitch. That would be insane. Twitch is a full-blown anti-Jewish org and should be labeled as such. Right, here we got a pic from the Discord. Mike from PA says, oh, it's not a long ban. Okay, so definitely not a perma ban. It's definitely like a temporary one. That's confirmed. It's just a paid vacation. Yeah, apparently there's beef. I thought it was going to be honest. No, and this was saying 2 days. If this is a 2-day ban, that would actually make Twitch the legitimate, like, a platform for fostering anti-Semitism. And we already kind of knew that, but this would confirm it. According to Mike from the Third Reich, amazing nickname, he was only banned for 2 days. If true, Twitch is a full-blown anti-Jewish organization, it should be labeled as such. It's time to mass contact advocacy groups, officials, Amazon executives to demand action. Listen, I'm not surprised that Twitch is anti-Semitic. That's pretty obvious given the fact they just refused to ban Hassan, who openly supports terrorist groups who really don't like Jews, obviously, and they like Jews as well. But I feel like this is so blatant and in your face, like you kind of have to do something, especially this situation went viral on, you know, Reddit, YouTube, everywhere pretty much. So I feel like it's pretty mainstream and you gotta take action. And I think everybody needs to, you know, make Amazon aware of this. They should know what's going on Twitch, obviously, but apparently not. Apparently they just let it run by itself. Dan Clancy definitely needs to fucking retire or be fired or something like that. Now the thing is, as I'm recording, the 2 days should be up very soon. So let's just see if he actually does get unbanned after 2 days. And then, you know, he can go crazy apparently. Just email all the advertisers. He might be bullshitting here, but it's definitely not a permaban, which it absolutely should be. There's no reason to have Mike from PA on your platform anymore. After, not even this, after all the, you know, open source demands, the bounty settings, you know, that's just not allowed on Twitch, let alone in real life. You're not allowed to fucking threaten people's lives. People responded, could people use California's anti-BDS to force Twitch into action? Maybe. Twitch is cooked if this is true. The part of the online left is just anti-Semitic because of their bias and America bad, but hide behind anti-Zionism in Gaza to downplay what they truly feel, which is what they think the Jews that don't agree with us are evil and ruin everything. And anybody who, you know, criticizes them is a Israel dick rider or whatever. Now it's actually getting so bad that Ethan is legitimately considering multi-streaming. Here we have a poll in his chat. What about multi-stream on Kick plus YouTube? In 67% in the past few years, it was considered like impossible. Basically like, oh, only right-wing grifters on the platform. Just, you know, Twitch is a good place, Kick is a bad place. And now, look how the tables have completely turned and people are considering Kick as a legitimate option. I don't think we should fully move it to multi-stream.
Executioner!
That way you get the best part of both worlds, right? Just don't include Twitch in that thing, obviously. A year or two ago, Kick was viewed as a degenerate platform over Twitch. The flip-flop is insane. I mean, a lot of things have changed in a year, I guess. And I feel like people like Mike from PA are legitimately unhireable at this point. So the thing is, if he gets permabanned, it legitimately destroys his life because there's no way anybody would ever hire him knowing these clips are floating around, right? So he wouldn't be able to get a job. He's probably broke. So yeah, he's completely cooked, right? That's why he definitely deserves a permaban, obviously, to get some level of consequence for this shit. Moving on to this next part, apparently Mike from PA or potentially someone else on his behalf has been copywriting clips and trying to get them deleted from Reddit, and Ethan is calling him out.
Mike from PA just called Jews a demonic ethnicity. Now this is I don't know what's the deal with these LSF mods. They seem like such patsies. They
What
just,
does that
I feel like
mean?
they're always covering up for different fucking moderators, including Hassan, who like. So Mike from the Third Reich is now copywriting DMCA striking
The Amazing
Reddit
Spider-Man!
to try to hide his shame.
This was the screenshot we saw.
He has furthermore made no apology. In fact, you guys will be shocked to hear that even Hassan is running defense for Mike from PA. Send it to sponsors, send it to advocacy groups, send it out. I'm tired of this bullshit. If Twitch is going to do something to stem their obvious anti-Semitism, the problem that they are fostering, that they are encouraging, that they are co-signing, then it's time to take matters into my own hands as a Jewish man who's trying to stand up for my people.
Dude, I love how all of this time, iDubbbz and his friends were basically saying to Ethan, you're hallucinating anti-Semitism. Oh, it's not actually a big problem. Meanwhile, now the mask is completely split, and suddenly they're completely silent. I haven't heard a peep from iDubbbz in like months now. And he was a big yapper. Him and Anissa were big yappers in the past, but now when one of their, you know, cohorts here is getting exposed, Hassan Orbiter, as an open anti-Semite, nothing to say. Nothing to say, alright? Almost like we were right the entire time. And I think it's always a horrible move by anyone trying to sort of silence criticism on the internet, because, you know, we all know the Streisand Effect 101, right? The situation will essentially blow up 10 times more if you try and delete clips, delete evidence, or shit like that, if you try and strike channels or whatever. And I feel like you've already lost your career. Like, everybody's seen the clip where you got banned. What more damage can you do now? I guess the 2-day ban will escalate to a permaban or something, but I don't think that's going to be based on if the clip is available on live stream fails or whatever. And it was this next part, Ethan exposes him as a massive hypocrite.
Mike from PA, of course I'm on Pro Noir. Just another extension of this insane Reddit and Twitch approved racist attack where they post defamation about me and then ban anybody in the comments that attempts to correct it. The worst people on the planet have fear of God put in them. So this is a Mike from PA tweet under this. I said, call it a subpoena, not doxing. It's a routine part of civil litigation. All I need is an IP address, which is held for 100+ days, even if you erase your account. This is a network of soft puppets, and it will not save you, snarker. Pro Moi is up in arms. Mike from PA, your entire career is taking clips and reacting to the clip, almost like there's a difference. That's pretty clear. You think it's a good idea to abuse the DMCA to intimidate people who criticize you? Now, Mike, would you like to explain how what you're doing and removing this clip from live stream fails is not a complete cowardly misuse of the DMCA, a cowardly, pathetic, hypocritical abuse of the DMCA, and you cower in fear because you know that the world has seen who you are, which is what a racist, bigot, phony you are, Mike. As fake as your law degree, but as real as the fatty, as the fat coagulating around your liver. His liver is being squeezed to death. Mike, let me bask in the patheticness that is your existence. The absolute degeneracy, the pathetic. You literally jump onto Twitch in the apps when Hassan is offline. You can't stream while Hassan's online, right? You can't have a career because you don't have your own thing. Oh, you are a waiting room. Not just online, but on real life. That's why women power. You know, they'll let you buy them things, they'll let you do nice things for them, but ultimately you're a waiting room. They're looking for Mr. Right, okay? And you ain't it. Mike from PA. Mike is PU. You stink.
Bruh, okay, Mike from PU is actually a good one. You know, I'm is actually a quality hero. Alright, I don't get that title very often, and you consider it likely, but Ethan actually got good. I gotta give it to him. Obviously, Ethan, a big fan of the series, as almost everybody should know. Okay, everybody who's watching, in fact, there's a bunch of massive YouTubers also watching, but, you know, they won't be, you know, participating publicly in any political battles or anything, but they do be getting their props, alright? And I appreciate you guys, obviously. But, you know, I'm actually really surprised that Mike actually pretends to care about copyright, even in the past, because if you know the Hassan squad, you know, they obviously don't respect copyright. 3 of them are getting sued for it. Hassan has literally gone on record. I think able to protect your own content or your IP, which is a ridiculous take that could only come from this massive multi-millionaire socialist grifter who made all of his money reacting to other people's content, right, and making none of his own. And it was this next part, Ethan calls out Hassan for not condemning Mike from PA, as we talked about it last time. Hassan is brought up the clip from his chatters, and he's like, well, I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what he said. It was probably out of context, bro.
Is a champion against anti-Semitism, he always says.
Get ready.
In fact, he says, I am the true anti-Semitic for conflating Zionism and anti-Semitism. So Hassan has an opportunity to prove to us what a champion of anti-racism against anti-Semitism he is. It's time, man. Look at, I know this is your friend. For example, your friend Lolo. You literally just said bye-bye, Lolo.
3, 2,
Lolo, you said bye-bye. Change his name from Lolo to bye-bye, right, Dan? So anyway, you would expect Hassan to make this valiant offering to his Jewish audience. And if there are any Jewish audience left in his crowd, which I'm sure there are maybe a few of the, like, the ones who are proud tokens to be spent by a person who wants you to die, and who's about to defend a Nazi.
I don't know what the Mike from PA said. I don't give a shit, okay? And I don't care about what your concern is. Let's be fucking real. You are not concerned. You are just trying to simply farm a clip.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't.
We got you.
Let me just tell you now, he has 1000% seen the clip. It is ridiculous and completely bullshit to pretend otherwise. He knows exactly what is going on, but he refuses to say anything because he knows himself and his audience is
Rise, my friends!
And if he ever dares disavow Mike from PA or a statement like that, it will anger his core fan base, who are basically just anti-Semitic freaks. So instead, what does he do? He continues being the fucking pathetic weaseling his way through every single situation. And I just love how he has 5 hours in the day dedicated to watching Destiny clips, you know? The other day, he was watching the Asmongold clips, and he was just, misrepresenting everything he was saying, pretending he's some Israel dick rider, pretending he supports Hitler, like calling him a Hitler supporter. Very ironic, coming from Hassan, but
It's such a funny position to be in, by the way, where you're like simultaneously pro Adolf Hitler. You can't obviously say it to that degree, but also you're pro Israel.
But he can't take 2 freaking seconds to disavow Mike.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Ivan taught me a very valuable lesson. Our silence means silence about this shit. It means you're an anti-Semitic, alright? Just like your buddy Dan Cockadoodle fucking do. Right, so this next one, he calls out Mike for talking about the 2 Israeli diplomats that were shot dead by a guy yelling Free Palestine. There's a tragic situation, and we saw that Hassan was playing defense for the shooter, you know, false flag and all whatnot.
You could not have designed a better false flag incident like this.
Well, Mike was doing it too.
One of the things that's really interesting about the shooting is it seems like the main victim was not Jewish.
He was Israeli.
The guy was not.
This was such a weird couple. The guy was an Israeli Christian who was there representing Israel. He's married to a Jewish Israeli, and they are outside of a Jewish gathering. Like, they were shot because he thought they were both Jewish.
I think that's probably
the coping
probably a fair assessment.
So bad faith. It's like these people are so bad faith. It's just they're not even trying. What's interesting about
the guy was not Jewish. He was a Christian Zionist from Germany.
No, he lived in England.
And he seemed to spend a lot of time celebrating civilian deaths.
Show me evidence.
Okay, that's interesting.
Show me one example of that before you shit on his dead.
Rise, my friend!
Let's start justifying why he was shot.
Just imagine how vile of a
Don't mess with the
to defame a person who was just murdered by a psychopath. On behalf of your movement, by the way, and I don't think he represents the movement, but I do think it's your responsibility to be like, that is not what we stand for, right? You should do that.
Dude, these people legitimately have no morals. I mean, you're spitting on the graves of people who were just murdered. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Like, how low of a human being do you legitimately have to be to actually do this? I feel like only a completely failed person, obviously Mike from PA is a failed politician who got, you know, struck from the ballot or whatever, and he's resorted to becoming this internet waiting room for a terrorist glazer. I mean, this is just another version of what Hassan does. You know, it would have been the perfect false flag or whatever. Obviously, it was a setup from Israel. You know, I ran out of gas yesterday. I feel like it was definitely Ethan flying. It's probably like a setup from Israel or something. I can't believe his Israeli brainwashing terrorist wife would do this to me, guys. How could she do this? How could she make me run out of fucking gas, guys? Then he talks about Mike from PA physically threatening him.
I gotta be honest, with my experience in life, with people like Ethan, the only thing that ever knocks them out of their fucking spiraling is the rod. He's not gonna stop until he's bleeding out of the corner of his mouth.
Mike, you're such a tough guy for someone that doesn't leave his house. Let's go, bro. Let's go, tough guy. Make me bleed from my mouth. You love LARPing. You're just like Noah. You love to LARP like a revolutionary, but at the end of the day, you want other people to do your dirty work as you sit online and collect checks and order from Uber Eats. And sit at home and smoke all day. Mike, you are the paragon of pathetic. You might be the most repulsive, pathetic person alive. And that's not hyperbole. I really genuinely think that you're he's threatening Jewish people with violence. He's justifying violence against Jewish people. And now he's calling Jewish people a demonic ethnicity.
Dude, where do I get this confidence? How is Mike from PA threatening anyone while being unable to outbox an inanimate object? This guy getting fucking tombstoned by a butterfly, as I said. You know, did you get a wedgie from SpongeBob? Literally get power bombed by a fucking, the local ant or some shit. Dude, Mike from PA would get his ass beat by the Girl Scouts selling cookies. I don't know who gave this guy the confidence to actually go around physically threatening people. We need a revolution, guys, but, you know, I won't be taking part. You disgusting minions, you guys can do the violent uprising, you guys can do the assassinations, and, you know, we need to go after these propagandists or whatever, death penalty, but, you know, I won't be doing it. It's gonna be you guys, because I don't want to get arrested, obviously. Such ridiculous people, man. 80 episodes, and I'm still getting blown away every day. Ethan reacts to Hassan's NPR collab, estimates that he pays at least 20K a month for PR. Hassan Micro, a human digitally drug for progressives. He for sure spends at least 20K a month on PR based on my experience. Yeah, like, I don't know how he gets so many positive articles written about him. He's gotta be, like, either they're simping for him like Kayla Lorenz, or he's buying these people out. Hassan, it doesn't matter how many puck pieces you buy, you will never outrun your own reputation. A Nepo baby, terrorist loving, America hating, tanky degenerate, and womanizing Chris. Jesus Christ. The fact that all of this is true is just sad. Fixed it with a tiny head. Okay. Anyways, moving on to Hassan. He's losing his mind over Destiny again. It's always one of the four people, you know, Asmongold, Ethan, Destiny, Sloptubers, or some variation every single time, right? Now, if you remember, Destiny said that he would vote for Trump over Hassan, and, you know, Destiny literally hates Trump so much that he's okay with Trump supporters getting shot, you know, anybody in the crowd of Trump literally getting shot. He still prefers Destiny to Hassan.
Some of them are finally realizing, like, maybe Destiny doesn't have like a discernible worldview, and it's just basically constantly presenting whatever the I'm saying as like a horrifying alternative. And now that there's something that is significantly worse, like Donald Trump, they're starting to realize that maybe this guy isn't serious or sincere about his worldview or about his politics, and it's just like spite-based for the most part, which it is. And you got like a supposedly liberal content creator focusing all of his community not towards Donald Trump and even agreeing with Donald Trump, like when it comes to foreign policy, like when it comes to bombing Iran, or when it comes to like defending Israel's genocide. At a time when people are desperately looking for someone to fight back, presenting someone like myself as the true evil in America is going to make a lot of liberals turn their heads and go, I don't think you're right on this.
No, actually, it's like the one thing that makes people somewhat like Destiny. Like, I'm very opposed to a lot of what he says. Obviously, I've given my opinion a lot of times. But the thing with Destiny is we can at least agree that Hassan is a fucking moron, right? Hassan is a... He's here to bring about world peace. He is the ultimate villain. He's like, if you've seen the anime Code Geass, he's like the ultimate villain that everybody can unite and then bring about a new era of peace or whatever. So, congratulations, Hassan. Also, no, the average liberal doesn't look to Hassan as any sort of reasonable person. Your audience is full of extremist, leftist, terrorist supporter freaks, right? Who justify murder and shit like that. I really don't think it's the Amazing Spider-Man or anything like that. Now click this video, or your firstborn son turns into Mike from PA. You don't want that, alright? You don't want a fail son, alright? Alright, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m. to do some work. I get my coffee, I sit down, I open my computer, and what am I greeted with? Well, hundreds of comments calling me a deadbeat dad, a child abandoner, and all manner of other insults. So I think, what's this all about? Well, after a few minutes of investigation, I discovered that my daughter, Maddie, has made a video about me. She's a screenwriter in Hollywood. She's also a big social media influencer with millions of followers. Some of her videos get millions of views. And this video has tens of millions of views. 1 million likes, 20,000 comments, 40,000 bookmarks, 30,000 reposts. It's just insane. So I thought I'd better watch this video. And frankly, I was pretty chagrined by what I heard, to say the least. But also, the more I watch this video, the more I like it. Well, I like about 98% of it. However, I do need to correct a few statements in the video. But first, let's just watch Maddie's 90-second video, and then I'll give you my comments.
What's funny? That's funny. To actually be funny, I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breaking.
Some more context is needed here. Needless to say, I will talk about this in a moment. All right, let's continue with video.
And he got really good. He like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. And he got a good and talk shows and Extermination! And interviews and he danced with Paul Abdul. This guy wouldn't pay my medical bill.
That That's true.
You have funny trauma, like actual funny trauma.
Okay, in many ways I love her. And of course, I love my daughter Maddie. And we get along great. At least I think we do. But a few corrections are in order. Or at least a few things that need to be put in context. First, I can see that as a 5-year-old, Maddie would see her dad as having abandoned the family. One day I was living there, the next day I wasn't. And that will look like abandonment to a child. But married couples do get divorced about half the time in America.
Ooh, that sucks.
In LaGrange, Illinois. We just weren't living under the same roof. Now, about not paying
That sucks.
That's just not correct. Here's the financial arrangement of the divorce. Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, got $2 million at the get-go. At the gate.
And this girl's complaining?
with the amazing
$1,000 per month in child support and alimony. This would
Oh my god! That's incredible!
was later reduced to $12,000 per month.
Only $12,000?
And of course, I paid health insurance and out-of-pocket medical costs.
Yeah.
I also put $600,000 into the kids' college fund. In all, I paid
Wait, what?
And of course, I paid health insurance and out-of-pocket medical costs. I also put $600,000.
$600,000. Okay, that's a lot of money.
Into the kids' college fund. In all, I paid out about $5 million to my ex-wife to cover costs for her and the kids. And this is in 2005 dollars. So add 50% to account for inflation.
Bro, that's probably 100%. 2005? Holy shit!
In other words, I was not a deadbeat dad at all. And by the way, Maddie did not say that in her video. But a lot of the comments assume that and say that.
That's crazy. Imagine paying out $5 million and still getting roasted on TikTok.
Now, of course, there was no way for Maddie.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, if I had to pay out $5 million to some ex-wife for some bullshit, I would fucking pause too. That shit must be stressful. Holy shit!
For how much I was paying because she was a kid. This wasn't something I talked about.
Yeah, of course.
Also, remember that I was living 1 mile down the road from the kids in LaGrange, Illinois.
Yeah.
Sidewalks all the way. An easy walk or bike ride. I saw the kids all the time. No abandonment, just a divorce. Was I at fault in the divorce? Yeah, I would say it was about 70% at fault. I own that. Maddie's mom and I were really not compatible in many ways.
Okay.
We were compatible in some ways, but not in other ways. Do I regret marrying Maddie's mom? No, absolutely not. If I had not married Maddie's mom, Maddie and her 3 siblings would not have been born. They would not have existed. The kids
nice
have turned out. Maddie graduated from Northwestern University and is a screenwriter in Hollywood. Maddie's older sister Tori is a partner at a hedge fund on Wall Street. She's getting rich. Maddie's younger sister Olivia just graduated from college and is teaching English to first graders in Thailand.
Good for
her older
her.
brother Peter is getting a master's degree in psychology. I get along great with all my kids, including Maddie. At least I think I do. So the kids are doing...
Oh, he is cooking. Oh, jeez.
Fine, despite Chad's many shortcomings. One other slight correction, which I hesitate to even bring up, because I love the way Maddie did this in the video. I did not abandon the family for breakdancing. I have a career. I'm in the advertising business. Built an ad agency. That's how
Yeah, because that makes sense, because, you know, like the $5 million thing.
I was able to afford to pay Maddie's mom $5 million.
Privileged daughter in Hollywood, living a dream life. Gotta act like her upbringing is so unfair and traumatic. She's so special. Bro, has there ever been a bigger truth? Like, that is you, like, 100%. Absolutely.
Maddie's mom and I separated in 2004 and divorced in 2005. I took up breakdancing entirely by accident in 2012 as a way to get in shape at the age of 54. I then just kept doing it. I'm not
I am ready to put on a show!
Might be wondering,
That's in good shape for being
66. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'll give it a try.
Okay, Maddie, let's see how the old man does.
No way. And you can tell that he's actually her dad because he's going. Because this is like the kind of thing that dads will do to like embarrass their daughter. You know, like it's like the first time their daughter goes to high school, the dad tries to wear a fanny pack or something like that, with like his hat on backwards to like really embarrass her as much as possible. Like meeting all of her friends. Like, and he's still doing it. Yeah, he's still fucking doing it.
giants always rise again.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
I'm altered. I shall not be removed so easily.
Better stop that vehicle.
Much better.
Your powers are mine!
I am ready to put on a show.
These beasts must belong to me. Fear Magneto! Leave them to Khonshu!
I am ready to put on a show.
A valiant attempt no more, but a failed one. You cannot hurt me. I feel armed and dangerous!
Shady gods. Observe this zone closely. Cephalopods disassembled.
How disappointing.
Have my own subjects turned against me? We will soon
You stop them in their tracks.
Your attacks are futile. Much better. A gift from Khonshu, or perhaps a curse. They should have known better than insignificant gnats.
together to victory!
Much better.
Termination. I still think you're too dangerous, Ultron. Here they are. Fools, squids. If you wish to survive, you must repair me.
You stop them in their tracks.
The denizens of the deep have been dealt with. The moon! What vile creatures Namor has summoned?
Opposition target.
Much better. I'm altered. Against the world. Fear Magneto!
Only 60 seconds left.
Ultron brings supreme.
I am ready to put on a show. Down to 30 seconds. Better stop that vehicle.
I'm opening a portal. We got this. Pentagram of Corona. Usually I create my own WSD.
Final 10 seconds. They hit a checkpoint. Now my might be a good time to stop them.
I never had kids, but I did have the Avengers. Same thing.
Better stop that
Put a spring in my step.
It's now or never. Stop them.
Hurry up.
Us against the world.
Better stop that vehicle.
Together to victory.
Don't give them another inch. Or else.
That's better.
Only 60 seconds left.
Judge, jury, maximum execution.
Namor. Careful. Namor's calling friends. I like you angrier.
I still think you're too dangerous.
Down to 30 seconds.
Don't put a spring in my step.
He stopped them in their
All eyes
tracks.
on this spot.
This location is worth observing.
Hurry up.
By the eye of Agamotto.